And tell them
Okay,
where we are.
everyone, it's 1:05. Let's begin. This is YouTube 101, presented by the St. Pete Arts Alliance. The St. Pete Arts Alliance is the umbrella agency for all of the arts in St. Petersburg. And today we're focusing on a program underneath our arts business resource umbrella, and that we hope will help everyone find a better way to grow their business using social media, especially YouTube. I'm thrilled today to be able to welcome Kelly Lee McFrederick, who is one of our board members, and Dave Walker, who is one of our board members. Kelly Lee was the spark plug behind this, who roped in, as you can see, Joey Lowery here, who is not one of our board members, but he is our expert for today. And we are absolutely delighted that he's here. We could not possibly have booked him or engaged him or paid him to do this. And when COVID's over, he gets a big hug from me for donating his time to make this available to you. We think it should be very helpful. Hang in there with us. Use the chat line, as you may have just heard Kelly Lee speak to. We'll be monitoring that chat line for questions. This is the very first YouTube that I have hosted that is being done live. You're not just looking at a PowerPoint here. You will see one, but you're actually looking at live people who work in the arts who are here to help you. And that, I think, is one of the best things that the St. Pete Arts Alliance has been able to present for everyone over the past few years. So I'm going to try to recede into the background here. Let Joey introduce himself and what he hopes to do here. And I actually hope to learn just as much as you all are. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, guys,
Thank you.
Yeah. Kelly, do you want me to start off or?
Sure. Well, you know, basically here, let's get our artists in here. So we're here at Zen Galleries with Dave. And we said, Dave, would you please be not quite our guinea pig, because he actually has experience in YouTube and, of course, the website, but kind of what can we do to help bring the arts more live? How do we bring it out on the internet? We got some stats. You all read the stats about YouTube and how many people are watching it and really how it's grown and grown in many industries. So I say we get started, and I'll be answering some questions. Joey will be leading it, and we're going to give Dave spontaneous questions that you better be ready to answer.
I'm going to do my best. All right. Well, I'm Joey. I'm one of the owners of, I'm the owner of Go Florida SEO. I've been doing digital marketing for about 3 years now. And have a huge passion for this stuff, and especially when it comes down to helping local businesses, artists, and really just helping people get discovered or even known online. Now, I'm a real big believer in there's a lot of steps into digital marketing, and you just don't want to just jump in and rush everything. So this presentation, if you would like to call it that, or walk through demo situation, it's really set up from all levels of going to how to sign up for the YouTube channel and get going, all the way down to maybe some easy ways to do some keyword research and a couple other tips and tricks that you can use if you're not, the YouTuber sensation that you want to be. So that being said, the one thing that we really want with all this, no matter what, if anybody has questions, please reach out. Kelly Lee's right here. She's ready to answer, or obviously voice over, and maybe I can answer some questions for you guys. But I'm going to start off right now by sharing my screen, and we're going to kind of just jump into this thing and walk through it.
And put all your questions in the chat. I'm going to monitor the chat, and I'll be reading some of the questions out to Joey as we go along. So the chat, make sure your chat is on to all panelists and attendees so everyone can see your question, because it will benefit all. So just make sure on the drop-down box you have that. I'm sure you all know that. And we're ready to rock and roll.
Cool. Share my screen. And also, please let us know if there are any technical difficulties coming through. Please let us know right away.
And we're so glad to be in Dave's gallery right here. Pretty cool area to be in.
We're super happy to have you here today.
This is a really cool spot. Let me go ahead and get this guy going. All right. So growing your business with YouTube. Really, like I said, the base of all this is if you could go back in time and let's say I always use the reference of buying property in New York in the early, say 1800s. The cost of the property obviously I'm not going to say it was pennies technically, but it's pennies compared to what it was going for now. And that's what I feel like, digital marketing gives you a presence to actually go and do that. YouTube's being one of those. Back in the day when obviously Google came around, being able to run ads and do all that stuff, I mean, you're paying pennies at the time in the early 1990s, early 2000s, to run ads and do stuff on Google. But nowadays, I mean, for example, let's say a divorce lawyer, if you Google that and you're bidding on that ad within Google, it's going for about $55 per click in Los Angeles. So one of those things is if you can get on this, I don't want to call it the trend of digital marketing, but let's say YouTube, and get in there and start utilizing it to help yourself grow your business, but also at the same time, really help yourself build some brand awareness. It can really help you jumpstart, whether it's your brand, your business, or maybe just your, people noticing you online a lot faster, and also may save you some big money when it comes down the road, when it gets really expensive, when everybody starts doing this. So what we're going to kind of—
YouTube is free.
Yeah, it is free. It is free. So like I said, what we're going to do is what we're going to cover is just kind of the hype around YouTube, how to start a channel, obviously write some tags and do some other descriptions, and really why you want to word it a certain way when you're doing this. Because like I said, digital marketing is not something we're just going to jump in and tomorrow all of a sudden we're like getting discovered and we're winning, more or less. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and that's kind of what we want to do. Also, like I said, if you're not a big fan of YouTube and you're just like, I don't know, don't really feel like I want to get out there and, show my face or do, scripts or things like that, that's totally fine. I have some other options that you can do that'll help you grow your business and obviously your brand awareness as an artist as well. Now, jumping right into it, I do know that monthly active is spelled wrong. Unfortunately, the infographic I had did not let me fix it. But anyway, YouTube has about 1.9 billion users worldwide. Now, that may sound obviously really cool, and you may wonder, like, okay, well, I'm in St. Pete, or maybe I have a clientele base that's somewhere else. But the whole point is, it just shows that the whole world's using it, which means I promise you there's somebody out there that would love to see what you do, or hear from your expertise, or just be able to learn from you if you expand your knowledge, and they'd be watching your video. Also, what's kind of crazy is just the amount of people that actually watch YouTube and their ages. Now, I have people tell me all the time as clients saying, okay, you know what, I don't think my client is on YouTube, or for example, Snapchat even. And I tell them, like, my grandpa actually uses Snapchat. He's about 81 and doesn't know how to respond back, but loves to watch me or whatever I'm up to. Now, that being said, this is really just one aspect of digital marketing. Now, getting involved in it, this is kind of the time to start. Kelly, did you have something? Oh, so anyway, like I said, just a lot of people are on YouTube. Our age demographics are really all across the board, therefore leading you to be, the possibly seeing that your clients are probably on there, or at least the people who would love to hear about you are technically reachable via YouTube. Now, the other crazy thing about YouTube is it's really considered actually a social media platform. If you think about Pinterest and Facebook and all this stuff, really YouTube does kind of the same thing. It's where you can get there and you can engage, and really it's almost like your own profile as well. Now, the other quick thing about YouTube is a lot of people don't realize it is a huge search engine. It is second to Google. That being said, there's a reason why you want to make videos. Because again, if you want your website to rank first on Google, then right off the bat, what you'll want is obviously ranking and making sure you show up first when people are researching whether you or someone like you. Now, YouTube's the exact same situation, where what we want to do is create videos and content that's SEO'd correctly, which SEO stands for search engine optimization. But there's little tips and tricks that you can do to help your videos go to the top. Now, you still want to be consistent. You still want to post. Think like Instagram and Facebook. If you post once a month, it's kind of boring. Same thing with the YouTube channel, in a sense. Now, the whole goal of having this YouTube channel is it can cover a couple different areas, whether it's you're wanting to maybe sell a product, maybe you're looking for more brand awareness, or better yet, you just want to make sure that people can find you if they're researching, especially as an artist.
How many videos do you suggest that they post a week?
Without getting crazy, it really depends on what your availability is. I'd say at least 1, 2 would be great, but I wouldn't overdo it.
And it doesn't have to be an all their playlist, just whatever playlist that they're working with. And we'll talk about what a playlist is in a few minutes.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to it, it's just more about, it's like working out. If you go to the gym once a week, you're going to see, some effort versus going 2 to 3 times a week. Not saying you have to post 2 or 3 times, but it does take a little bit of time to, build up that audience and things like that. Now, kind of jump into it right away. This is going to be very basic on this side right here, but how to start a channel. I literally just copy and pasted it from Google. And that's the beauty of Google, is literally anything you ever want to know, you tend to be able to find an answer right there on it. So when you're actually doing this, I'm going to exit out of my screen real quick and kind of show you what it would look like. So once you go into, one second real quick. I'm going to minimize the screen. Okay,
We're going to show you how to start a YouTube channel.
There we go. We'll jump right into it. So right off the bat, when you click on, it'll say, what email do you want to select? And it would push you through here. uploading a profile picture, I mean, doing it the right way, tell your viewers about your channel. What it will give you the option to do is either select it as an individual or a business. So make sure when you're doing it, if this is a business profile, make sure it's for your business. And then also same thing goes for if this is for you personally. It does give you the ability to go ahead and add links to your site and things like that. And then also same thing goes with like Twitter and Instagram, but just kind of jumping into how simple that can be. Now, going back to here, 1 second, here we go, okay. So when you're uploading a video, it's pretty simple. One process I like to use, I'm gonna jump out again, apologize. I love iMovie. If you have a Mac, it's super simple and really easy to utilize. But the cool thing with it, once let's say you shoot your video, you can do some cool stuff within backgrounds, and you can drop in stuff and kind of edit it the way you want it to be edited. And then really it's as simple as just going into here and going right into YouTube.
And when we talk about just loading a video, literally we're 101. It's nothing but your phone. This is just all the videos. Having a YouTube channel for years, this is what I was working with, met Joey, wanting to enhance some more of what I was doing. Probably, well, I won't say how many years, a lot of years been doing this, but it's just every video I have is off of my phone. It's just very simple. I'm looking at what do I want to promote in my business? What are some different things that I'm doing? What title does that fall under my YouTube channel? So it's not complicated. It's just literally, some people use their iPad to take the movies. It's whatever you choose the video off of here, it's right here, uploaded on. So just want to make sure everybody knows this is really just the simple beginning basics of how to get started and what we can do.
Yeah, and then that's a good point too, with what Kelly just brought up. Utilizing your computer is one aspect. I personally use the computer, and then I actually had not directly uploaded it like Kelly had before. And she actually taught me something on that end. So it really is just what you're comfortable with. And like I said, I just like iMovie, got used to it. And whenever I shoot, I just drop it in and edit it and upload it right there. Now, like I said, it's not I wouldn't say the easiest thing to always get in front of a camera and obviously shoot your own YouTube videos. I know sometimes as artists and even people, in videos, we're always thinking, okay, am I saying the right things? Do I look good? Is there a shadow wrong? Or even, do I got a Zen on my face? Anything technically can make you want to not do it. The key, truthfully, is just doing it. It's, like I say, it's like with exercising, just get out there and do it. You're not going to be the best when you first started, but at least you're doing it. And I promise you will probably be a leg up on your closest competitor just because you're doing it. Now, once you get the video uploaded to YouTube, it's going to look just like this here. So it's going to pop up, and I had to upload this ahead of time. So this is one of my channels that I have. It's my drone channel, if you will. But what happens is it'll upload here, My Movie 8. It's exactly what it showed on the iMovie. Now, if I go to edit video, this is kind of where you're going to want to label it, obviously what you want to, and I'm going to kind of walk you through really how to set this up correctly.
And it's so easy.
It is, it's really easy. It's very easy. Like I said, the hard part's shooting it, just because I think we always overthink things, but this right here, simplest thing.
And think about too, when you go to shoot it with your phone, and we'll talk about uploading on a phone after Joey finishes, I'll show you how I do it. But it can also be, you can put your video in the backwards where, just like you're doing a selfie, you can do it as a video selfie. So if I want to do that, I get something really cool in the background that I want to talk about, or just a little tripod that we sometimes use, very simple. Joey brought in his ring light. We'll talk about that a little later, but there's little different options that you can do. The idea is you're making video. I personally don't edit. I shoot it, got it. I do exactly what he's doing here in this basic editing. And I just let it roll. It's natural, it's fun, it's free flowing. I'm really showing what I want to do. So again, this is something that you can just start right now today, and it doesn't have to be fancy and you don't have to wait.
Exactly. So when you're going into your video, and this is where we're going to get a little bit more advanced past obviously creating a profile. But right off the bat, the title is probably going to be your most important aspect of the video outside of the description. So when you're looking at a title, there's one little hack that blow everybody's mind. Let's say this movie, I want to rank first, and I want to show up when someone looks up stingray videos. So for example, just give you a little reference, shot this little thing at Discovery Cove, and just a quick little video of that. Now this is just for practice, of course, but so what if I want to rank for it? So I'll type in, this one, I apologize. We go here, stingray videos. So I type in stingray videos. Now, what I want to look at is what and how they're labeled. So manta ray, you see stingray, National Geographic, obviously that one's a good one to not copy, but base it off of. But you'll notice how people lay things out. Obviously stung by a stingray. If we had more time, we'd watch that right now. But anyway, the main point is what I'm looking for is how are things laid out. So let's say I want to rank for, local artist in St. Pete. Look for that. So we're, and again, I didn't really look up this ahead of time, but what I'm looking for personally is how they're laid out. So Florida travel, we're looking at Shine Mural Festival, but when it comes down to it, what you're really kind of basing it off of is, and this is my other channel, programmatic advertising. So my keyword I wanted to rank for my title, for my video, was programmatic advertising. So I put it right there at the front. So if you notice, even with the National Geographic one, they mentioned stingrays right off the top. Now, what I also noticed with mine was if I typed in this, here, YouTube is about to give you all of what people are searching for. So this is another great way to determine how even you want to create your videos.
Let's put an art blowing.
Let's do it.
The glass blowing.
See. Cool. Back here.
And we did have a question, Joey.
Yep.
How important is the quality of what you are presenting in your video to satisfy or not that first impression thing? What characteristics in YouTube determine where you come up with a keyword search? That's what we're doing right now.
Oh, what was the first?
This is the first question. What is the quality of what you are presenting in your videos to satisfy or not that first impression?
I personally think, one is just the quality is going to be based off sound, and I'll usually shoot something first and watch it just to see how I sound and how I look. Obviously, there's things you have to watch out for if you shoot a video, and just as I turn here, you can see where the lighting from back here is obviously distracting and definitely gives like a blurred off type image. So I'd say picture quality is key. Now, when it comes down to actually the quality of the information or how to, what to do, I think laying it out in a very simple way of looking at the person itself. Who are you really trying to go after or make an impression of? So am I speaking to, Dave as a business owner and how he can personally learn about YouTube? And then I would want to obviously make that so specific to him. Now, if it's a generalized point, obviously you want to keep it very open. The hardest thing about YouTube is you're making a video for really one type of user, technically, or viewer, or audience. So I wouldn't get too hung up on, okay, do I have to give the full details of, basically, does Dave have to teach me how do I, basically create this beautiful masterpiece step by step? Or could he basically just get me excited enough to want to come take a class from him? So,
that's the key right there. And you want to really, in the beginning, just do for 30 seconds, a minute. If you get somebody on looking at the video for a minute, you're in a win. But make sure that as we're showing you kind of keywords, how to find them, that your video is relevant to exactly what the name is. You don't want to go there all of a sudden now you're studying something about Afghanistan and you're looking at glass blowing. You really want to stay on topic.
Well, and YouTube's not going to rank you if let's say your title says Afghanistan and you're talking about art blowing. So, or I say art blowing, the art of blowing. So when it comes down to it, when you're looking at this setup here, for example, like Amazing Glass, they're back to back here, which is interesting right off the bat. That's something I would consider maybe putting out a video around Amazing Glass blowing and almost copying the way they laid that out there. And again, like I said, you see glass blowing right at the top. Now, again, looking at these videos are all so different. Obviously, there's ones that are talking about some amazing pieces. There's more about how they're doing it. And then obviously there's them making objects themselves or even introductory classes. So when it comes down to it, all these videos are so different. So when someone says, what do I want to put in my video? I would literally, if I'm making a video about, let's call it YouTube, for example, I would just go to YouTube and I would literally watch 2 to 3 other people do it. I want to see what the competitors are doing. And I wouldn't just pick somebody random. I'd pick the first 3, especially when I look at how many views they have. And this is something to think about too. A lot of people think I gotta have a lot of views. And I'll show you a hack to get around that. But if you look at this right here, you have one that's at roughly 250,000. And then you have somebody down here, 18 million. So they're still ranked lower. So there are some kind of keywords, like I said, layout, but the point is don't get so hung up on what I'm doing and have to make sure that I have the exact message and I'm gonna be selling somebody or convincing them of something. It's more about being consistent and posting videos, whether you're talking about what you do, how you act, what makes you different, but keep it very, let's call it scheduled, and also keep it very organized. But like Kelly Lee said, keep it short as well. Most of my videos are.
Another question that talked about the age of posting or the relevancy. I'll answer that one for a minute. I'm in real estate, and I just had a new customer who found a video that was 9 years old, and I was called right off the bat, and they're now my client. So the relevancy, is it relevant to what you're doing? Yes. Age of posting, if it's there, it just continues to create content for you. Dave has he's got some great videos from years. And I know we're going to put some of your videos, whether kind of doesn't matter what the age is. Yes, you want it relevant, but also because they're fun, they're interesting, they snap somebody's attention, like you showed us the popcorn in the bottle.
Yes, definitely. And I also actually had another quick question too, now that we're going through this. Using words like amazing, exciting, tremendous, does that help? Or should we really kind of stick more to the exact glass blowing real estate terms like that?
Let me jump back over here. It just depends on that situation, because as you can see here, the word amazing kind of has an ironic ranking at the top, but then the next two start with glass. So, and again, I'm one of those people who are like, I really like data and why things happen or why something moves a certain way when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I would say whatever you're doing, look at your competitors online and see how they're wording it. And not necessarily competitors, but just the videos that are outranking you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just maybe make it a little bit more smooth. And so I would say it just depends. If you have a video that really shows an amazing piece, using amazing would work. Ironically, using the same word to describe it as well. But, or if it's something where you want to show people the classes, then I would not probably use amazing in the sense of the classes, but rather.
Be relevant to the class.
Mm-hmm.
Another question that came up with, I think this is huge. If they're using a video to sell us in our artwork, is that a factor that people respond to? Don't wish to turn off potential customers. The idea would be getting them excited about looking at that. I'm looking how to make glass. And then, by the way, I really like that piece of glass. I want to buy that piece of glass.
Yeah, I mean, something that I've seen other artists do personally, and we've talked about this too, thoroughly. They'll do more presentations around artists and what they're making, and then use that as a kind of introductory to how you can purchase it, giving history or even talking about certain pieces.
Story.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it would deter people technically. I think it's one of those things that really makes you different. I think sometimes we always get worried that we're not going to have it the exact way we should, or we're going to think it's not right, or it doesn't look that great. The truth is most people just aren't doing it. So you may give yourself a huge leg up, and that's kind of why we wanted to do this YouTube thing. It's not crazy hard to rank right now, where YouTube in a sense has so much space on the first page. And if you start now, as Kelly was describing, and getting videos up there, you keep doing this over the months, you're going to naturally get more people noticing you through your videos. And this is just one outlet. So I would say from an art standpoint and utilizing YouTube, there's so many ways to utilize it, whether it's, like I said, selling pieces, really just talking about yourself. I mean, Dave here could walk through the entire gallery and show everybody all just the unique stuff he had. I'm blown away by it. And, someone who doesn't know much about this, I would watch the video just because this is cool. And then am I going to be his exact online audience? Probably not. But because of seeing that, I'd be like, let me look up classes, because that's kind of cool. When particularly he may have just made that video to show the space, but yet that made me more or less interested in maybe something else he offers. So I just wouldn't get too hung up on it.
Do we have time for another question?
Sure, yeah.
Can you talk about the mysterious YouTube algorithm that keeps you from ranking in search until you post at least 40 or so videos? What other criteria is there? It seems a barrier to entry.
Yeah,
I think you kind of answered that. I just getting videos out there.
Haven't really had that issue personally. I mean, this is my channel here. Let me go here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos. So I don't think that's necessarily a thing. I think that's what people talk about a lot. I don't really see that being an issue. I have some friends that are, big YouTube people, and they're obsessed with them. They post sometimes 2 times a day. Like, do I think would you in a very competitive space almost have to be like be doing that? Yes, particularly. But when it comes down to making very specific videos and knowing how to do the keyword research and doing the right, let's say, upload, you're going to skip past most of those people who are not doing that at all. And that's kind of what we're talking about in the sense of.
I love that, because that to me is one of the most important pieces, is where we're showing you the different words to look for. How are those ranking? What are people seeing? Because they're wanting to look at those. And as you're doing a video and you're able to use some of these basically that's what I'm always do, is I compare myself to see what other areas that people are looking for in real estate. So here we're looking at, okay, how does this video work? But if you're doing it using some of these great words at work, and you're looking at some descriptions when I type in glass blowing art, you're winning, because now you're not just poking in the dark, you really are seeing what people are searching for on YouTube. And that was actually that was a huge aha moment, because I've just for years kind of posted what felt good, what my title was, what I was doing, and just by mistake, I really got found, quite a bit for areas. Did some classes, but this to me really hit home. And actually this is one reason I wanted to talk about this class, because this to me was one of the most important pieces.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is you got to look at like a map. Like I would say going to the airport. If you have to catch a flight, but you don't know where the airport's at, well, you probably get there. And you don't think, the Uber driver, first thing I say, or taxis, we'll use that as an example, is where you're going. Your title, your description, and your keyword research is literally the directions so that your video can get to the first page. So views are obviously important, same with comments, but that is going to come with time. And I'll show you different ways to actually help to promote that and get those views and those comments up. To kind of keep going really quick, once you kind of figure out your title, let me go here. So the Stingray thing, what I would personally have done here is type in Stingray video. Now, what I would also go into is, where was this video taken? For me, this one was at Discovery Cove. Lived here 1 year and I'd go to Orlando here and there. I would probably put in Discovery Cove, and then I would put in probably 2020. The reason I do that is because of relevancy. You will have people that will show, they'll click on your videos a little quicker because they see that it's more of a relevant video versus someone who has a video of something in 2018. For example, Kelly Lee over here had a lead come through after a video that she shot a while back. The truth is what my question would be is, if someone was to write out, or do a video too, but put 2020, would that user more likely click on that video versus something of a couple of years? So there's just some small things to think about. But like I said, the key to this right here, the title, is just making sure you're being very exact about what exactly the video is about, but then also including, like I showed here, if I type in, let's see, Stingray, if it's something about stingray fishing, I want to make sure I include that in there, or things that are along that nature. For that video I showed you guys a second ago, programmatic advertising is something that we do with our agency. And again, programmatic advertising course, I see that a lot of people are looking at that. Maybe that's a video I need to make. And that's another way as an artist, you guys can specifically.
Ooh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. I like that one. Yes.
You can come up with ideas on what to shoot videos around your art or your business just by going to YouTube and seeing what other people have been researching. So for example, this one here, real-time bidding. It's very similar to programmatic advertising, but people are looking that up. Therefore, maybe I need to put out a video about real-time bidding.
Well, let's talk to Dave for a minute here.
Okay.
And so Dave, we're going to get into playlist a little bit more. So what are some of the categories? A playlist is the same as a category that you can have on your YouTube channel. They actually just call them playlist, and you name them, and you can just, as you do this quick editing, you're able just to put your video underneath that. And we'll show you here in a very quick second when we get into the basic editing. Okay. What are some of the categories, playlists, that you would like to do that as you can search through here? We talked about your classes. What are some
I think a few right off the bat, definitely our classes. I'd like to do that. Demonstrations, our events, so that when we're taking video of all the different events that we throw here in the studio, we definitely like to have those.
And getting ready for an event.
Definitely, 100%. That's fun, and we can see all the behind the scenes things. And then of course, galleries, so that we can feature all the work and artists that we have coming through the gallery.
And I was even thinking of another one, and that was the interview of these different artists that do this.
Yes, definitely.
The interviews, and we get to see, because to me it's a story. Who's that real person who's behind that?
Gotcha.
Who's behind that? The big helmet behind
the art.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll let Joey get back. So let's look up what do we call art blowing demonstrations, art blowing classes.
What would you think from your end?
To the glass blowing classes. It's probably the easiest. Yeah.
So here's the point that I want to bring up with that exactly. So when we're talking about glass blowing classes, what's the first thing that probably matters if someone wants to attend your class?
They're here in town.
So that's the one thing we got to think about. So glass blowing near me. Now that would not be something I'd want to put a YouTube video around technically, because again, that search term, you could show up and the person could be like listed here, Phoenix, Atlanta, Georgia, Phoenix again. Seems like Atlanta and Phoenix are pretty popular. But maybe what we want to do instead is our glass blowing classes, our glass blowing art, or just even specific pieces of art. Let's say art fish. Going into like this might be a better direction to, in a sense, do that. And where in the video, you maybe mention the classes that you're doing, or even get specific where, let's do glass blowing art classes, Florida. And then going into something like that.
So the question came up, this very first one here, how to make glass art, glass field trip. Is that the one that people are searching for the most? Is that one ranking top?
Well, that is ranking top. I mean, these first right here, the first couple that you're going to notice right here are going to be the ads. We'll talk about our ads as well at the end. But really what we're looking at here is this is the one who, according to YouTube, they believe that's the best recommended video for that online search, that user. Google, YouTube, really any search engine, including how Facebook does it, they want to give their end user, yourself or the shopper, the best result for that search. Obviously, it'd be really annoying if I'm looking up Thai food in St. Pete and it keeps listing McDonald's and Burger King. And I'd be obviously really ticked with that. But that's kind of the situation you want to think about is when I'm making these videos and I want to rank, to get up at the top, that's why I said for this, you want to make sure you give a good title. How to make glass art. Personally, that's a great first starting video, and this is exactly what we want to go after. Now, to keep things moving a little bit, on the video details, what you want to look at when your description. Descriptions are very important, but I almost write them, and I look at it like I'm not writing this because someone's going to read it in just like a 2,000 worded or a worded blog. Most people aren't going to sit there and just read that blog. Most people aren't going to read every description of every video they watched. But if I go in here, and I'm curious on this video, pause it. Of course, you get the lovely ads. What they'll do is a lot of times they include music. I always recommend, as they did here, telling people where you got the music, because YouTube will actually shut the video down if you
will be fine. You will be fine.
Definitely.
So the other thing too is what I would highly recommend, always in every description you make at the very end, include your contact information. It drives me up the wall when I've watched a video. There's actually somebody I wanted to hire for a website thing, and I couldn't figure out how to contact them. Like their actual business name wasn't their, John at, let's say websitebuilder.com. Their YouTube name was not their domain name, and I couldn't contact them. So if you have something, especially like if you're doing classes or you're trying to sell art or want people to come and check it out, include a way to contact you in every video, because that's so important. If they are interested, they probably will click on the description.
So that would be your website, your phone number. Now, what about linking? Do you think you should put your Facebook on there as well? Or
if it's relevant? I mean, I think I have some friends that are in acting, and they personally don't, but they'll include, their profiles, or maybe on Actors Access, or maybe there's an IMDb profile that they want to include. So it really is up to you and how you want to do it. I would always include phone number, email, and obviously your website. But if you'd like to add that, you can. I always use notes on my MacBook, and I just keep literally copying and pasting, so I don't have to keep writing it every time. It's just a quick drop in.
And just a quick note, if you do have a website, obviously, like what I have on mine is I use my new. I actually have a new website that we're creating right now, and I will put that on there because I have a contact page. I know some of us are not real comfortable just putting our email out to the public of like, oh no, I know I just got 3,000 emails of spammers, but you can certainly have a contact. This could lead back to a contact page on a website. Because if they want to reach you, because they will, plus that does add the credibility and viability to you.
Mm-hmm. The other thing too, I always mention, because I have a couple companies that I do work with and will own too as well. I always have an info at email, always do, just because I use that where people want to reach out to me, and that way I can kind of vet it a little faster. But when you're looking at these descriptions, make sure the way I like to lay them out, I'm going to show you mine real quick on this little video I shot a while back. But again, you can see I shot that last year. What I like to do is I cover the same thing. I repeat the title in the description, and I also try to answer the question of if you're looking for an answer of, or I go in this video. And then what I always love to do is also include another link. And actually, an accident, I copy and paste the same one for this one, but I'm not too worried about it. But always include another link to one of your other videos. I always recommend that because, again, just for that one-off chance someone's very interested in it, and now they have a direction to go next. These hashtags you see here, it's one of the most overlooked things on YouTube. Always include hashtags in your videos. And you'll notice at the very top here, well, this one gives location. It's another important thing. Include your location. That also gives reference because obviously YouTube will more likely show you as a local person rather than something on a national level. Not saying that's the case all the time by any means, but that does give you a little bit of a one-up. Wouldn't say it's going to, you know, bump you from a C to an A, but it might be you're at 89%. You just need that 91 bump to get to A. That might be it. So, for example, Dave, on yours, using hashtags in sense of glass blowing St. Pete, you know, hashtag Art Alliance, things like that. That also helps you with the relevancy. So I always pick 3, but don't overcomplicate it. If you're making a video about something that you do or your business, I mean, sometimes using your hashtag, even your name or business name is totally fine because there's a chance that somebody may look you up online and your hashtag would be, you know, an easy way or a helpful way to find you.
And 3 is the magic number, or
I personally
hashtags better?
No, I just really haven't seen many people just go past 3. I think it actually may limit 3. Don't want to say yes 100%, but some people just do 1.
So I know on Instagram you can list them, and a lot of people do list them.
Yes.
Very extensive.
So that's where this area here is. By the way, I always do yes, made for kids, just because I don't know quite yet what that's really entailing yet. I mean, obviously, if it's an appropriate movie for kids, then yes, it's okay. If there's questions, probably just hit not suitable. But for some reason now YouTube's asking that, and so
or you can just leave it blank.
You can. I just personally think making a choice is going to help your video because they're going to do some type of priority on it. Now your tags. Tags are like what we're just discussing, your actual keywords. So hashtag the keys or the keywords. What I like to do is go back to here when I do mine and literally just go Stingray, and then I'll look at here. Okay, Stingray doesn't really, none of those really quite affect that video, but I might do Stingray, Discovery Cove. And I don't really see many, really no search for that. So that may not be a keyword I want to use, but I would recommend putting in 50 keywords around your topic. So Dave, with yours would be using glass, and then glass blowing classics, glass blowing St. Pete, and even breaking those up into glass blowing as in technically 1 tag, and then breaking that up into glass being a tag and then blowing being a tag. It's pretty simple on this end. Like I'm gonna have to log out real quick and I'll show you.
But don't let that be daunting. If you don't have that time, it's okay. You get just 10 little words on there real quick.
Yeah.
Your name, website, something kind of what is relevant to do.
So you can see
I'll
here.
copy and paste my own just to repeat it.
Kids. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to mess with everything and walk through my first practice on this one.
But you can copy and paste some of this and just keep it easy or put it on a Word document. You know, it's just some ideas. You know, it's one of those best practices, but the idea is for get you started. And if there's only 10 things, sometimes I only come up with 10. It's all I can think of.
So here's
that particular topic.
A little kicker, a little trick.
Okay.
Just Google YouTube keyword finder and type in your topic, and good
There you
chance.
go.
So let me show you the complex way. I also like to do it the way I think, in a sense of you know, what I would be looking at. But just remember too, you're making these videos not for you or really even for your business. You're making it for an end consumer. So that being said, try to make videos that are what your consumers want to see versus what you think the video is about your business. Because again, there's something that's going to make them want to contact you. That's really what you want to be making these videos about. The what is it about this that's going to make them want to contact you, versus just putting out a video that just talks about my business and who I am, but rather this is like, for me personally, this is why you need to work with us. Here's a video on why we're the expert at this, to give us some validation.
Oh, here's the most fun part. On your own video, make sure that you like it. At least you get the ball rolling.
Kelly Leland is another quiz.
Great advice.
Always like it and subscribe. Yeah, tell your friends to subscribe to your own channel too.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. Make sure as you do your YouTube, get your friends to subscribe to it. Send out the video to them. Have them share it. We'll get into that more, but you can put it on Facebook. Make sure you ask 5 of your best friends to share it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all in this together, right? Definitely. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to start sharing a bunch more videos, Dave, just so you know. Well, so when you get a bunch of agents calling you, you know.
All right. Yeah. For classes.
Definitely.
Classes.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap that up real quick on that note was, basically how to set the channel. Your title, just look up inside YouTube what other people are actually posting and what their videos are. Sometimes I'll even go to the second page and look at their titles of, okay, why aren't they on the first page? Description. Make sure, obviously, you repeat the title. Don't write a book. but use 5 to 7 sentences. I say max 5, but just again, this is really so YouTube can crawl it and help better, rank that video and understand what the video is about. Now, obviously, recommend your channel inside, obviously your video description as well. Keyword, super simple. Use either a generator, like again, you can just find that on YouTube, or better yet, just start typing in YouTube different things people are researching around your topic and just copy some of those. But don't get too hung up. Just the fact that you're doing 10 is way better than doing 0.
Okay, we had another question that came in. If I go to this Google keyword, I think we blew them away with 50, sorry. But if we do, let's say we do go to Google, do what you just said, we find just the top 10 keywords. Is that those top 10 are the best 10 keywords, or do they have any kind of ranking of order?
Yeah, this is where we get really detailed. There's tools that you can buy that cost $99 to $179 a month that will tell you what keyword is the best to go after and how many searches. But I really wouldn't. I mean, if you type in, let's say, Doberman pinchers, and on Google, and it says Doberman pinscher puppies is the first thing that Google recommends, I promise you that keyword is high enough that it's probably important. So like I said, what they're referring without having to pay for anything, just use Google. People are researching it. Use what they're recommending as your base for your keywords. Now, keep on going. So a lot of, let's say we upload our first video, we're good to go. Dave's pumped, video's rolling. We don't have any likes yet, no comments, no one knows it's there. So that's obviously the other thing about YouTube, it takes time. Here's a couple tricks to growing your YouTube channel. There are so many people in the community and other community pages that have so many followers. I love the Berg, I love St. Pete, Enjoy Pinellas. These are just 3 I found real quickly that I'm in. Now, reach out to the page administrator. Really recommend that one because they tend to not like if someone's stepping on their toes. But ask them, do you mind if I share my video on your page? I love the Berg St. Pete has 119,000 followers. The I Love St. Pete 60K, Enjoy Pinellas 8,300. I actually shared the link for this on the Enjoy Pinellas. Not saying that really affected, it was a very last minute thing that when I shared it, but this is going just to help you stand out. And again, get more people finding you, especially locally. For Dave, this would be a perfect way to recommend classes because you're going to have, if you post on all these, I mean, you're upwards to close to 170 something thousand people, and you are more than that, and they're all local.
I see these are local guys, Brian and Dexter and Stan, aren't they?
Yep.
Right here.
Okay, this was another question that came up. Can you post videos on your channel created by someone else? That's kind of an open-ended question. It would depend if they have permission,
If they have permission, I mean, if you give them permission with the
If it's
channel.
copyrighted to someone else, you know that answer.
Yeah, I think really what it comes down to is for example, somebody might have a marketer and their email allows them to get in and they have access to everything. Can I go in and post without your login or your stuff? No, obviously not. But again, you can set up page roles and page, just like in Facebook, your page administrator, people that are, that can edit, comment, more or less report on.
But I think it goes back to people want to see you. I mean, I'm thinking in my example would be, my friend just did this really cool piece of jewelry that she made. Maybe not on my Facebook, maybe not, I would not put on my YouTube channel, but I might share it. Would love to share it. Where it kind of comes from me, maybe through Facebook, the YouTube channel, maybe give it to a friend, but they don't come to my channel to look at someone else's piece of art.
Unless you did reviews, that would be my only other thing. If let's say Dave here said I had a channel for reviews and he was, again, it's obviously a little tricky because you got to make them want to do the video review. Obviously something that we're just struggling just to keep in front of the camera ourselves, and we own business, or we're kind of the top dog there. But having someone review it and give an opinion, which is 10, 15 seconds, having your own channel, or even upwards to a minute, that's just all about customer reviews, might be a really great way in that regard. Or if you have employees or other people that are working with you that are maybe your right arm, left arm, having them involved in channels is not a bad thing, I don't think personally. But Kelly's correct. People, it's your channel, your business. Let's also make sure that you're showing up enough where your name and obviously your personality is getting shown.
Now, Joey, I noticed you have a few channels. Do you recommend maybe starting a review channel to direct traffic to our main business, or?
I would say, so I guess, yeah, so I would have a review channel would be great, technically. But I would not get, I would say that's the arm. We still want to create the body first. For Zen Glass, we would want to have a great video on just who you are, what it is, who are you, who are your students, what do you guys have, what's the cool jungle out in the back, what is all that? basically creating who you are and how you're an authority first in videos. And then, reaching out to maybe some of your best clients that you like, or when you're doing an installation, have, someone come in and film it while you talk through what you're doing. Okay. But then going into fun stuff like the popcorn, going into the reviews, pretty much anything that adds personality to your page, I'd recommend that. But start with building your body first.
And that can always be, your reviews can always be a playlist too. Can always be.
Oh, and I apologize. I wouldn't recommend building new pages. Like I have a drone channel, I have my personal one, and then I have other ones that I kind of play with. I would say create individual.
But they're completely separate. They're not of the same, industry. Yours are for very different. Yep. When you do your scuba diving, when you do this, they're very, very different, not for the same audience. Yours would be for the same audience.
Gotcha. So it would be the Zen Glass page, but we would just
have channels inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or what we call a playlist.
Playlist, yes. YouTube I'm using the wrong terminology. It is playlist. Here's a secret to growing your channel. Fiverr is awesome. Fiverr. It's really cool. It's a great way to promote. You can basically, they'll actually get out there and post on websites for you about your videos. They're not very expensive. There are some, I'd get in there and test it. Usually it's $5. You have to pay a $2 management fee, but they'll embed your videos into websites and get people watching it. It's a great way to grow your views, but also at the same time, it's kind of doing, so we call it SEO of YouTube. But Fiverr is a quick, easy way to kind of get into that. But if from a, let's say from a cost standpoint, start with the groups, start with your friends, start with your obviously local people. Don't let them beat you up too much and say, oh, I wish you shouldn't use this word. Just be happy that you did it, because they probably weren't. So I'm always careful when someone gives me feedback. Good question?
The other thing on feedback, let's talk about that. Under the edit button, you have an option, which I choose, is whether I have to review that comment first before it gets posted. And I really recommend that, because some people just have really they're not happy people in the world. We'll just leave it as that. And so so I would certainly do that. And then on your homepage, you can go back and review those, click like, have them posted, everything else. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. There was kind of a quick question that came up in terms of, we talk about posting on some of these other Facebook pages, and someone said, what happens if someone wants to post on your page, but it's a competitor? I think that's only if that review is allowed. That's kind of what I was just saying, if that is allowed.
I mean, I think from your end on that, a competitor posting on my page, I wouldn't be for that by any means. Obviously, they're a competitor. But if it's something where it's a relationship that we both can win on, maybe. But I wouldn't let anybody, unless I'm personally involved in the video, I would not let them post. This isn't like Facebook where you allow someone to post on your page. This is actually a video. Also, thank you. So kind of keep things moving really quick. How to grow your traffic outside of YouTube. Now, Hootsuite. Hootsuite's one of my favorite little things. I believe they have a free 1-user trial that you can sign up for, but it's worth it. It's $30 a month. But what it does is it allows you to hook up your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your YouTube, and you can actually automate all your posts on there. So if you want to sit down for the week and say you want to get all your Instagrams lined up for that week or even for the rest of the month, you can actually schedule out everything. So it saves so much time. And that's the other thing I want to be kind of clear on. YouTube does take a little time. Obviously, you got to shoot it. You got to edit it a little bit maybe and do a little bit of research. It gets easier as you do more. But let's just say one day you spend 2 hours, you make 5 to 7 videos or 2 or 3 minutes, you get it all edited. You can upload them to Hootsuite and just obviously schedule them all for the next couple weeks and take all that off your plate. Now, Pinterest obviously is a free tool. But one thing that I think a lot of people realize is Pinterest is still a search engine and people still use it. Creating a Pinterest page, Dave, posting pictures of everything you make on there is a great way to actually still drive traffic outside of, YouTube technically. Now, running display ads, this is where it does you have to spend money obviously to run ads, but you can run ads and target people. Let's say Dave wants to sell more art here. He can target people online with ads, display ads or other ones that are people that are buying art online, that are researching certain types of glass art. You can do the same thing pretty much with any business. You can target people who are shopping your competitors, people with certain income, really run ads that were very specific to that online audience that is your customer. So if you do look into running that, that's a great idea. I always start with about $1,000 a month. I know that's a lot on some ends, but that's always an option if you're more established and you're trying to make some e-commerce moves or have people actually come in and buy. Running ads is obviously very important for a lot of businesses, and that's how we generate leads too.
That's not, yeah.
$1,000 is a realistic budget then to start off, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's local. I would say But again, that's just a paid option.
It's just getting you started for today, and that's the important part.
Mm-hmm. So you guys have, with all this being said, kind of broken down, I want to kind of show you Kelly Lee's page here, and then I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to do with Dave. The first thing you notice on her page is the very top, International Connector. Nice, clean photo. Same thing with the profile picture. And then you'll also see right here, just her videos. And obviously she's been doing this for a little bit, so this isn't necessarily a new game for her, but she's speaking to the point that it works. And so if it's working for her, definitely can work for you as well. Now, going into Dave's page, nothing bad. Also, please, 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 everybody, if you don't mind, go follow his page, subscribe to it. But right off the bat, the next week and a half, if you check back in, you'll notice the page is going to look a lot different. We're going to upload a photo up here. You can use Fiverr for that if you're not artsy and know how to do all the editing. But also, we're going to lay out the page a little differently. So, like I said, follow his, check in about a week and a half, and you'll see it look totally different. And again, like I said, this is not a race. It's just about doing it and staying consistent. So, kind of wrap up, since it's National Dog Day, I had to post 2 pictures of my boys, Bane and Tank. But anyway.
And I'm going to show you something real quick in just the last minute. I had promised you all this.
Oh, yes.
So you can do YouTube as easy as you want. Personally, for me, I take it off of my phone. I'm filming, or I'm filming myself, or whoever knows I'm doing it. And then the next thing is, it's already in my gallery. It's in my gallery. Y'all know what those is, your photo gallery. It's in here. And then all I'm doing is I've downloaded the icon for YouTube. I have it right up here, the YouTube icon. And I'm literally, if you can, I know it's hard to see, this is kind of moving the phone around, but the very top, because this links to my channel already, there's a little icon, of a recorder, right here. And so all I'm doing is I'm hitting that, I'll just do it right now. I'm hitting that and I'm picking the video that I want to upload, and I hit that. Actually, most of these have already been uploaded. Actually, about 100 I need to actually finish uploading, believe it or not, as I go through all my videos. But it does nothing but pick my videos, and I just click on it, and it uploads it automatically into my channel. And then I go on my computer, and that's why I just hit the edit. I just, put the description, the tags, everything we've talked about, do your basic, it'll say advanced editing. And that's where the default is, where you have to review it first, put your location, and it's that simple. I am not the most techiest person, as we know. I do like one on the arts, and I like the techie, and I like them both, but I need to do it at my speed.
So, with this whole thing, hopefully this has been helpful for a lot of people. If you guys don't mind, please reach out to the Art Alliance if there's other things. We were debating about doing kind of a more advanced one on really get more specific, and even if you'd like to submit maybe your
and maybe one on music too for the music people.
Yes, the music. Yes, so we can talk about that.
Just tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want to learn.
Yeah. So basically, if you have a business, or we can even do kind of John, if we want to do kind of a round robin thing, where we can go through and look at businesses on the YouTube and what we can do in recommendation. So we're here to help you guys. Obviously, I got brought in, and I really appreciate the Art Alliance and everybody. Thanks for letting us use you.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. So we appreciate having you guys. But like I said, please reach out to them. Let us know what you guys want to hear. If there's anything business-wise, if there's other things, like I said, we're set up. They're set up. Hopefully, I get involved too to help you guys. So if there's anything like you like more details on, please feel free to reach out. And I appreciate you guys for chiming in.
Yay!
Awesome.
Okay, that was
Great,
fast.
John.
We have a minute left for some questions.
Good.
Oh, can you enter a different location from where I'm located?
Yeah.
Yes.
When it comes down to it, you would
It's
just
just your
select
drop-down box. You pick wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. I always say Tampa because it's a bigger city, technically, when I do my videos.
Okay, let me see here. We got another question in the Q&A. Okay. Is there a way to make money by posting your videos? If so, does it follow traffic, have an impact? Facebook has a big piece on that, but you have to have, there's a certain amount of videos you have to have and a certain amount of subscribers that do subscribe, but absolutely it can be monetized. You just have to, again, build up the traffic.
You have to have so many subscribers and also hours watched. So you have to have, I believe, over 1,000 subscribers. And I want to say over 4,000 hours watched. Mm-hmm. And then you also have to set your page up, select monetization. And that really what they're doing is, without you being an influencer and me saying, hey, Dave, can I make a video about your art and make a commission off of it, I sell it. Instead, it would be based on you selecting monetization, and then you would have ads that would run in front of your videos.
Will you please repeat, this is a question, will you please repeat the part about the page and channels / playlist? Do you create one page and then create separate channels? We did kind of go through that kind of quick. You're on your one YouTube channel. And on the right-hand side, it'll say create playlist. You just put in any topic. One of mine is kale on the town. My new one is the international connector. I do a lot of international travel. Another one is international travel, selling international real estate. So those are just mine. We talked about with Dave. Dave, what are the playlists that you would have? Repeat.
So we were going to do the classes in education. We were going to do a gallery page and an events page. And
yeah. So
behind the artists.
So yeah, and that's where the cool thing. Yeah, behind the artists would actually be a great one. But like I said,
this is not overly relevant, but this was just mine.
Yeah.
All these big words down here, buyers and sellers, stuff like Kelly Lee, local real estate. Those are just playlists that I've created under the edit button. I'm editing one video. I don't know if you can click through it. Are you on me?
Well, yeah, let me do this one right here. Just because we're for the sake on time wise. So
hi, I'm Kelly Lee.
So when you can see over to the right real quick, you'll notice all of her videos in that playlist are associated here. When she uploads it, it's just as simple as going into here and selecting your playlist that you want.
Right there, there we go. Now you can see it.
And that's where you can add your playlists. And like I said, you don't always have to add them to a playlist. You don't have to do that. You don't have to make it super advanced. I think right now, uploading a video starting with 5 and then start a playlist that's maybe a little extra. Like for Dave, having a Zen Glass YouTube and then putting out a couple videos and then doing one that's, getting to know Dave, or the man behind the glass. I don't know, something like that.
But he may also find something that people are asking, and then he may create a new playlist based upon the responses and what you're finding out.
And just do videos that we decide to do.
It could be just interviews. It could be one of just interviews. Who's this artist? What's their story?
And really,
how do you make red glass?
And really, the possibilities are endless. So it's really up to you and what you want to do with it. But like I said, check out your competitors. Look at other people. Look at their channels. You don't have to necessarily just bite this huge chunk of YouTube. Just slowly upload videos. If you want to go fast, awesome. That's the way I like to do it. But secondly, look at your competitors, see how they're doing it and how they're laying out their pages, and kind of go after it like that.
Okay.
All right.
We are wrapped.
Awesome.
So give us feedback. John will put an email out and let us know what else you want to know. We certainly enjoy you all and love to be here, love helping, and this is fun. Now I'm ready for a beer.
Well, guys, also happy National Dog Days if you guys have some fur babies. So bye, everybody.
Thank you all.